Hey there, Brett here with Quarter Properties, your Myrtle Beach area real estate expert. And today I want to hop on here and go over our July numbers. It is now August. I can't believe it. Kids are getting ready to head back to school. Summer is pretty much over. I have no clue where summer went, but we've got our Myrtle Beach area real estate housing market numbers in for July. And there are some really interesting numbers in here. We'll start off with closings. So single family home closings in July, we had 887 closings. That was down 16% compared to previous July. We haven't really seen a number like that in I don't know how long, but down 16%. Okay, when we look at condos and townhomes, that was actually up 10%. So actually a very active closing month for condos and townhomes. Now, when you see closings down that much, I was very interested to look at price. When we look at closing price for single family homes, all-time high, $395,000 for the single family home sales price. That was up 4% from previous year. So very interesting. We've got colliding forces here as we move forward. All-time high prices, but a really slow closing month. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. When we look at condos and townhomes, it makes sense. We've had a busier, more active condo townhome market. They've been dropping their prices to get them sold. $230,000 was that price. Last year, $239,000. So that's down 3.8%. So those condo owners are doing what they've got to do to get their price right, to get their condo sold. Now, let's look at pins. How active of a market was it with buyers going under contract? When we look at single family homes, we had 1,082 pins. That was actually up 4.2%. So we were a little bit busier compared to last year. When we look at condos and townhomes, 461 pins. So contracts, new contracts, that was flat from previous year. All right. Now, what about new listings? How confident are sellers bringing their property to market? When we look at single family homes, we had 1,236. That was actually down 5%. So less listings coming to the market this July compared to last year. And then condos and townhomes were actually up 6.6%. So we've seen more of those come to the market than last year. Not necessarily a good sign there because we still have a lot of inventory to work through in that market. Okay. Now, overall properties for sale, right now, our market has 7,511 properties for sale. That's actually down 2.4%. So less properties for sale this year compared to last year. Now, is it a buyer or seller's market? Okay, buyer or seller's market. When we look at months of supply, our single family home months of supply is down to 4%. Last year at this time, it was 4.5 months. So over the year, we've been seeing a decrease in supply. All right. When we look at condos, same thing. Down to 7.5 months of supply. Last year it was 8. So gradually throughout the last year, we've seen a half a month of supply erode in both condos and single family homes. So the buyers or sellers market, I mean, we are really starting to lean into a seller's market for single family homes. But we're still heavily in a buyer's market for condos and townhomes, okay? Now, another interesting note, and if you watched my video last week, I talked about new construction. So our new construction is down to 2.9 months of supply. Y'all, that is our lowest level since July of 22, okay? These builders are not happy with their margins, their sales prices, okay? So they are slowing it down. They do not want a bunch of supply out there where they're sitting on homes that haven't sold and they're then dropping prices to get them moved. To give you an idea, during the years pre-COVID, say 2016 to 2020, the builders were averaging 5 months of supply, okay? 5 months of supply of new homes. On purpose, they have driven that down, okay, to 2.9 months. It may even go lower so that way they can start to get the prices that they feel like they need to get to justify even building the home. So again, like I told you last week, we're seeing a lot of build to suits. We're seeing a lot of advertised where they're just kind of advertising a floor plan on a lot, but really the house hadn't even begun construction yet. So you got to kind of go pick a community, pick a lot, pick a plan. There are not nearly as many what we call spec homes, they call inventory homes, sitting on the market for you to just kind of walk around and see, which we had a lot of over the last 5 years or so. Okay, so new construction on purpose down to 2.9 months of supply. To give you an idea, the new construction homes are getting 99.2% of their list price. So they're pretty much, if they're listed for $350, they're getting about $350. Okay, on the resale homes right now in July, they got 97.7% of their ask price. Okay, so if a home was $400,000, they probably got $390 or so for it. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Is it a buyer or seller's market? On the single family home side, we're definitely leaning into a seller's market. But with that said, I'm not impressed at all with our closing numbers in July that were down 16%. So very interested to see how that plays out moving forward. If you like this information, please click the like button. If you want to hear more interesting updates and tips on the Myrtle Beach area market and or real estate, please subscribe. If you are thinking about buying in the future, we've got the absolute easiest way to keep up with Myrtle Beach area real estate, the newest, latest listings. Click right there in the description. If you're thinking about maybe selling your home in the future, we've got a link there for that where you can keep up with your home value. Or if you want to chat about what you're thinking about doing in the next few months, my email address and my phone number are right there, and we'll be talking to you soon.